Colt's gray mom apparently called the school the day of. She called them 30 minutes before the police were called for the school shooting. Apparently, Colt's Gray texted his mom and said, "I'm sorry, mom." And that's where she picked up the phone to call police. And
she called the police, not the
no,
school.
I know she called the school, and then the police
to say
were
something is going on with her son.
yeah. And then police were called 30 minutes later at 10:20 about the shooting.
So what did the school do? They didn't go to see what's going on with him? Maybe they couldn't find him. Maybe he was in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
When he sent that text, and maybe they couldn't find him. I'm just very interested, like I said in the last video, I'm really interested to see what the school was doing, and
school was busy teaching children, as it should be.
I know. I'm just, sometimes, and I know that first of all, they don't pay, your aunt is a teacher, they don't pay teachers enough.
Hi, Auntie Momo.
I know that with all the inflation and, I mean, I hear that there's been a lot of firings in America, just not firings, but letting go of workers because they cannot afford to pay them. So, sometimes they just don't have the personnel that's needed, right? But it's such a shame. It's such a shame. We just have to do more. Sometimes I also worry. I do. I feel so bad about the children who have to go to school. I don't know how these kids are going to go back to school. There was one child on the news who was like, her mom said she doesn't want to go back. She doesn't want to go back to school because she does not feel safe. And I'm sure many of the children are going to feel that way.
Yeah.
And probably some of the parents are going to feel that way. Like, just to tell the children, you are not going back to school. I'm going to be homeschooling from now on, just because of just the fear of that. Like, school shall not be
an unsafe space.
Unsafe space. And that is what's happening. It seems as though every September we're hearing something.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, every year there's a school shooting.
Like, it never fails. Like, for the past 5 years, it's been at least a school shooting every year.
And it's awful. It's really awful.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and the students who do this is just, sometimes it's evil, sometimes, and it's no excuse. There's no excuse, and this is what we have to tell the students. Whether you're being bullied, like, you cannot use this because this is evil.
Yeah.
This cannot be used because you're going through something. You can't take a life because you're going through something.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, everyone at this point, like, everyone has some form of mental health issue that they're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
You have mental health issue, but it's like you're a working mental health patient. You still got to go to school. You still got to go to work, right? But you still have your anxiety. You got to take your treatment. You still have to deal with it.
My thing is, I feel like the issue is, where do you learn that whenever you're having issues that you result to violence? Like, where are you learning that from?
Some people also are evil. Some people, yes, you can say it's the society, like you were talking about the violence.
The daddy don't seem like he got much common sense, because he gifted his son an AR-15 that he went for Christmas.
The father, there's a violence there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's no excuse, because people have problems. People have problems in this world. People have problems in America. Okay, there are other students, no matter what he was dealing with. I don't know if there was violence in the home. Obviously, there is with all those guns.
Yeah.
I don't know if, you know, if he was threatened at a home with guns. That's the problem. That's the one thing I'll say is a problem of having guns.
Yeah.
And for those who say the teacher should be armed, that's the problem. Because
Why should
when
I have
the
to go
stuff
to my
hit the
job?
fan, will the teacher use that as a way to intimidate children? With his father having so many guns, at any point did the father use that to intimidate the child?
Yeah.
And so that's something that you learn, like where it's like, oh, okay, when I am hurt, right? They hurt me, whatever, or I'm feeling hurt, or whatever. I'm going to resort to this.
Yeah.
So I just want to. There's a lot of complexities. There's a lot of moving parts to the story. I'm very interested in knowing when the school knew things and what the response were. Now we are hearing about all the things they were told by the grandmother, who is a retired school administrator from another school, a week ahead of this, that her grandson needed help,
Yeah.
right? The mom called the day of, 30 minutes before the incident. What was the response?
Yeah.
Did they actually go search for him, or did they not have time, or what? Or that's something you should have time for. Someone
Yeah.
says, I'm sorry. Wait, your child says, I'm sorry. Like, do you announce that?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you don't want to
Like,
scare kids. but
Gray, your
it's-
mom is on the phone, or your mom's here, or something. Like, right? Maybe if
Yeah.
he knows that his mom is in the building, he doesn't do anything. Like, okay, where is she?
I think the issue with
Well,
this
like-
whole school shooting thing, and then also the police system, like we have
Yes.
seen time and time again that even with domestic violence victims,
Mm-hmm.
they really don't do anything until something actually happens. Like you do
There's
a
no
restraining
prevention,
order,
you were saying.
there's no preventative measures.
Right.
Like what are the preventative measures in a school
in
when
place when
in
they
place.
get that call.
When
Yeah.
I was a lifeguard, we learned about preventing accidents so we don't have to
Yeah.
go and
And
have to
save
save
someone.
somebody from drowning because it's very quick. It happens very quickly when somebody drowns, especially if they don't
Yeah.
know how to swim or it's a head injury. You can die very quickly from being in water. So we
Yeah.
always emphasize preventative measures. So we have things about if you see somebody running, we stop them from running. If somebody is coming in not with the right gear or whatever, we
Yeah.
tell them. If somebody is acting belligerent, we calm the situation down. Like
Right.
if somebody's in the water and they're tussling, like if there's a lot of people, there's like 20 lifeguards on deck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
feel like even with restraining orders, you need to have somebody who's following that victim around. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like there's a school
Absolutely.
shooting. Like, hey, look, my son just called or whatever. Okay, everybody stop. Everybody look. We're going to
Yeah.
exit the building. There's something going on.
Exactly.
Colt, Gray, if you are here, your mom
Is in the
is
building.
in the building.
Yeah.
Like what?
Tell her to come.
Tell her.
Tell
to
her
come.
to be on the way.
Yeah, like there has to be preventive measures. Police, if you get a call, there's a school shooting or an FBI, this guy has been doing it a year. Y'all should have been watching him for 2 years. Like it should have never gotten to this. And then the father has guns. Let's do a background check on the
Take
daddy.
him out of the home.
Take him out of the home,
Like
whatever.
we saw your stuff, what you said on here.
Like you're denying it, but the thing is, you know it's a lie because
Yeah.
you obviously have evidence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then you take action. You don't
Yeah.
go ask them. The kid's obviously going to deny and say, "Oh well,
Yeah.
we're done. We're done here.
Yeah.
Okay, we at least confronted him.
Yeah,
So
and then
that's
of
it.
course he knows how to shoot because the father is already bragging that he just shot his 4 deer. So now you know the child knows how to shoot. Maybe that's the household that you remove the guns from.
Yes, like there's no
Like
preventative
we're
measures.
gonna
Like
have to take all your guns. Okay, I don't know how many guns you got, but we're gonna have to take all the guns for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And we gotta get him help and probably you help too because something's going on in this
as
house.
long
and
as
this is
he's
what
in
we
your
saw.
house, we have to get rid of your guns. Like you're monitoring, you're invading people's privacy
Yeah.
with your monitoring system that even Mark Zuckerberg came out to talk about. But you're not doing the right thing by having preventative measures. Like there's no preventative measures. It's like, oh, when things go to shit, that's when we step in.
Yeah.
That's not how things should be done. Like what are y'all there for if you guys aren't preventing things from happening. School shootings should not be a thing.
Yeah.
Like there should be there should be like metal detectors. When people come into schools, you check everybody. You can't come into a school like this. There should be guards at doors. Like yes, it's like oh my god, but
make it seem as though it's not a school though.
It's not safe. America has clearly proven that schools aren't safe spaces for children.
So every school now should have a metal detector.
Exactly. Like it does. Like if you are in an unsafe neighborhood, if you're in an unsafe neighborhood, you will see bars on windows. You'll see all these preventative measures and stuff like that. Schools have been proven not to be safe because we are in a society where individuals are not mentally stable. We have all these killing games, and we have all these things that perpetuate this culture of violence. And it's now okay that your peer, they have guns at home, they can come tomorrow and come shoot me, or shoot the people. Like it has been proven that schools aren't safe. Oh, let's not put this here because then it doesn't look like a school. I'd rather it not look like a school than I get shot at school just trying to learn. Right. Like I'd much rather there's preventive measures, and it doesn't have to be like this raw thing where it's like you're in a prison or whatever and stuff. But metal detectors, right. And then you have people who have guards, you have cameras. Y'all already stalking people with the phone. I leave this on at night. Y'all still can hear me breathe. So obviously y'all need to do stuff, but don't be faking like there's not issues. That's the issue. That's how some man can come up in that school and come shoot somebody. Yeah. Like there should be more security. He's a student.
14. Yeah, he's 14.
You have to watch students, and people got to be in therapy. Like all this money America has, there should be no reason why we are not taking the tax money that we pay so much for, that we pay so much of, and it's not going to making sure our kids are safe in a place where they're trying to learn.
Is use some of that money that we use for all these wars, and use it
wars that's not even happening in our own country.
Yeah, maybe use it to pay and all the money that we use to have our soldiers in all these different countries. Why don't we bring the soldiers home, right, in America there, and then use the tax dollars that they're using to fund these wars? Why don't we use that instead to, to pay the teachers, and so that you have enough personnel to do all this stuff, and the counseling that's really needed, all of that to make the school a safe environment.
I feel like
our priorities
are so messed up.
Off. It's so odd.
Yeah, but we are so sorry for all the people who lost their lives and the people who have been injured.
When the dust settles, there are so many questions. So many questions. The DA says is that there's going to be more charges. They're going to be bringing more charges. So, very sad.
We'll see you guys later. Let us know how you guys feel about all this.
Sorry for all the families that lost loved ones.
This should have never happened. It should have never happened. But we're praying for everybody. And
God bless America.
May God help America.
And also may God help America.